We will be pretty much, yes, Une, we'll be doing what you were asking. We will be going over how to set up the framework using Maven. And like this is what we will be doing today. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it done, and hopefully, I'll be able to spend the entire class on it as well. I don't get it done early. So, what is Maven? First, we need to understand what Maven is. Maven is just, it manages repositories. What is a repository? Repository is basically, it holds artifacts and dependencies. You know how we included dependencies in our class? We manually added dependencies, like downloading Selenium server, Selenium Java portion, and we didn't do the test ng portion of it, otherwise we would have downloaded it as well. So the test ng portion we did through Maven, so which is why we didn't do it in class, otherwise we would have downloaded it and included it in our project as well. So that was, that's not very comfortable.
Wait, what?
What?
Are you kidding me?
Sachin, can you please mute yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay, no worries. So the reason why we want to use this online repository system is so that we don't have to download each and every time for each our project different dependencies, and then the dependencies gets updated. So instead of us downloading it again or using the updated version, it's just a hassle managing it manually, and especially in these days when everyone is collaborating from like all over the world, in fact. So it's just easier to have everything in the cloud. So someone decided to take it in the cloud as well, the repository. So it makes things so much easier. Sharing the projects is so much easier. We don't have to include the dependencies when we're sharing it with other people. Instead, we just just share a couple of lines of code, and that's it. So once they run the code on their system, they end up downloading the same dependencies on their machine. So it does save a lot of hassle, a lot of bandwidth. And like instead of us sharing a project of, let's say, like 50 MB, 60 MB, we would be just sharing a 5 MB project or even less. So that's it. It saves a lot of bandwidth as well. It's just much more efficient. And someone shared this link during class. I must say it was really good, really helpful. A few things I'd like to mention that it has a life cycle. What is a life cycle? Okay, let's just start by creating a project. How you are going to go by creating a project? Using a command line, you'll just go mvn. This is the executable that we'll be running, and then a few arguments that we're going to be passing. So the archetype is going to be generate, what we're doing here. The group ID is going to be the name of the company, and then the artifact ID is the project that we're working on. Let's say we are Alphabet, the parent company of Google, and we are working on their Google web app. So here we would have com.alphabet.app, and then here we would have Google-app or something like that. And then what we're doing, artifact ID, we do that, and I don't know about this one, so it's just optional. All right. So once we run this command, something like this is going to create. So in a directory would be created in whatever location we're running that command, my-app, and it's going to create a POM file, the POM XML file. Again, as it's been told numerous times, what POM is, POM really is the heart of Maven. POM consists of all the dependencies and other necessary items, necessary information for the project to run. So what dependency, which like what are we using? What dependencies we're using? JUnit, or we're still using Selenium. So the name of the dependency, its ID, and its version number. So all of these are necessary. So even the version number is necessary. Sometimes our tests are based on a particular version number, and then a newer one comes out. We haven't updated it yet. And then there are some, sometimes we want to test it on previous builds just to make sure that it's compatible. But in case of tests, I think we would want to do it with all the newer versions. So guys, I would say that you go through this link. It's really useful. Now, one thing, the phases. There are different phases in Maven. There is a validate phase, and then there's a compile phase, then there's a test phase, then there's a package phase. One thing that you need to understand is that if we were to do an install, if we were to run an install phase, it will not just install the package. What it will do is it will validate, it will compile, it will test the package, it will package it, and it will do the integration test, it will verify, and then it will install. It will not do the deploy portion of it. So this is the cycle. This is what it's done. So whatever we run, if we do just a test, it will validate, it will compile, and it will test it. So this is how it goes. This is the phases, these like the life cycle, and this is how it runs. All right. So again, just go through it, and if someone wants to know what the repositories are, just go through this as well. All right. Now, what we would be doing is we'll be just creating a framework from scratch, guys. I mean, I could show you what I've been doing through the entire day. It's not that hard. It just took me a couple of hours. And it took me a couple of hours because I was doing research. I was trying to understand what I didn't know a lot of things. I found it out. So once I know, then it wouldn't take me a long time to create the entire project like from scratch. So what I did today was I created a project, created a couple of modules, generic module we will be using where we could have some generic portion of it so that we can our project, the test project is dynamic so that we don't necessarily have to hard code everything here. So I mean we could use the same APIs for Amazon, Facebook, and stuff like that, different for different modules. So for us, like for me in the common API, what I'm doing here is I'm doing this before method and after method over here. So every time I'm running a test, I'm not doing, I'm directly getting into the test. So it's just getting all the before and after from the common API. So that's the best part of it. So you just set up a generic class, and on top of that generic module, and on top of that, whatever module you want to create, you create it, and you just inherit that one. All right. So let's just get into creating a new framework from scratch. Now we will be creating a Maven project, as we all know. So it's going to be a Maven project, and let's just say it is mentoring.app and mentoring test app. All right. Let's say it's Selenium mentoring app, and this is test app for mentoring. All right. So test app mentoring is the name of the project. Where we want to save it locally. Let's just say we want to save it here. Okay. And the project name, let's just name it 2017 01 and 03. All right. So let's just do it in a new window because I know I'll be going back into this one as well. So you see, once you create a new project, Maven project, let's just, and this is important, guys, you do the enable auto import because as soon as you keep on adding more dependencies, it will keep on importing it. All right. So as soon as you get this pop-up, you just click on auto import. Now if you see, it's starting from the main one. Oh, now why am I getting all of this? Oh no. All right. This is not how I wanted it. So let's just create a new project. A Maven project. So Selenium mentoring.com. All right, and the artifact ID is mentoring. Let's just say mentoring automation. So it goes in Selenium, and this is the directory where it's going to save. Let's just stick with that and just name it. Let's just not name it or anything. So the directory does not exist. Just create it, and yeah, that's fine now. Enable auto import. The reason is why I changed the path, and in that path there were a couple of other projects, so that is why it was just messing it up. So once we start a new project, a Maven project, it presents us with the POM file, the root POM. The root POM is the POM file for the entire project. Now, what we would have in this one, in this XML file, we would be entering our dependencies, what dependency and what version number we wanted to download it and include it in our in this portion over here in the external libraries as a dependency. So adding dependencies is very easy, guys. So dependencies, so you do this. So you start off by writing a number of dependencies where in the dependencies clause. But let me just make sure that this is all we need to do. Okay, new window. I think there was something else as well, or maybe not. So the root form is this one, dependency management. Yeah. So we start off with dependency management. And then we start adding dependencies. And which dependency you want to add? We want to add Selenium Java. All right. So which version? This one. See, guys, it is so much easier when we're doing it in an IDE. And then we add another dependency. Which dependency? We already got the Java. Now we want the server. We have the server now here. All right. What else? We need another dependency. Which one? Test ng. So this one I kind of, this was a bit tricky one. It wasn't like filling up automatically. All right. So let's just fill it from here. We want the version number is this. So this is the version number, and the group ID is org.testng. All right. So now we have the our root POM file. Our root form doesn't have the root project doesn't have anything, no source, no nothing. We will be creating different modules and different packages that we will be inheriting. So we're just going to remove it. So now what we want to go here in the view, and we want to view the project. No, sorry, the Maven projects. Now we have a Maven project right here, the mentoring automation, and now it has a life cycle. See how what I was explaining here? What we want to do is we directly want to go and compile. So it's going to clean it, it's going to validate, and it's going to compile it. So let's compile it. So the build was successful. But you see, nothing comes here. It hasn't downloaded anything. So for that, we just click this button, download sources and or documentation, whatever is necessary from these ones. So it'll just we just need the sources. We don't need documentation for now. And then we do refresh. No? All right. Do the install now. Yeah, still nothing. Come on, guys. Download already. Anyone? You said in view? Yeah. So you go in view, tool windows, and Maven projects. Now this should do it. I don't know why it's not doing it. This is exactly what happened earlier as well. Uh, it's not downloading it. Mm, why not? Mm, No. Hmm. Strange. Oh, no. No. All right, let's just get into creating the project. I don't know. This does it sometimes. It does it. I don't know how. Even last time, it was just such a trouble for me to getting all the libraries downloaded, but it will sort of download, I think. Let's just try deploying it. But there's nothing to deploy yet, but let's see. Will failure. All right. So what we need after we need the generic module. So what we want to do is we do the new control N or command N as after clicking here, or we go here new and we do a directory. Sorry, a module. What module do we need? We need a Maven module. What kind of what's the name of that? What's the ID? It's a generic module that we will be creating. A generic module would would consist of all the APIs and everything, whatever we need. So we have a generic in which we have a main class in which we have Java package, and this folder, the test resources folder, and this contains the test. So all of this directly structured created automatically. So under the Java, we'll be creating a new a package, which would be the base package. Base package would contain all our basic APIs, the before and after and all that. We would not be able to create it because, okay, no, before we get into that, for the generic one we need to tell what which dependencies we will be using from the main POM file into the generic one. So which dependencies does generic inherit from the mentoring POM? So again, we don't do the dependency management over here. We just do dependencies. For the dependencies, which dependency you want to do? You want the server, Selenium Java, and you want the dependency Selenium server. Oh, it was downloading in the background, I think. Oh no, I think once you do it, once you inherit that, that's when it starts downloading. So once we gonna start using it, that is when it'll download it. So we do the Selenium server now. So you'll see Selenium server would appear here. Now, uh, now you will see that J test ng. You see test ng isn't here. It doesn't exist here, right? So let's just add that dependency and we do test ng from where org.testng. So it should come up. There you go. You see, as soon as we inherited whatever we're going to be using, it just downloaded it right then. Why did it? Because we selected the option of auto downloading it. If we hadn't done it, we would have to come here and refresh it, or just click this one to download sources. Then we would have to come here every time we add a new dependency. We would have to come here and download the sources from here. So that's how this works. I just figured it out now, right now. So now we have all these dependencies and they have downloaded. You see how it was so easy for us to download all the dependency. We didn't have to go into the browser, go to the, Selenium HQ website, and then from there we go and download. This is how we would have done, and we've done it. So what we needed, we would have downloaded this portion. I mean, we would have downloaded this portion, two files, and added them, and then map them accordingly that this is where the package is. So all of this. So we skipped all of that. Search and auto download means that you saw how we were adding all these one by one, the test ng and the Selenium, and as soon as we added these dependencies in our generic or in any module, as soon as we did that, it downloaded them, not before that. Exactly, Unay. So we don't have to extract anything. We don't have to add it to the library folder or map it. And Sachin, yeah, that is what auto download does. If that option, if we hadn't selected that option, after adding these lines over here, we would have come here and then clicked on download sources. And this, after clicking this and only this, it would have downloaded all the libraries, external libraries that we needed. Okay. So now we have a base package. In the base package, we want to create a class which is going to be our common API. The common API, again, we what we need in the common API is to have a web driver for it to be able to open the browser, so we don't have to create it every time. And this driver, this object is going to be a public object. A public object of what? Of web driver, named as driver. And it's going to be new. Is it just web driver or Chrome driver? Web driver. Let's just make sure. Uh, okay, we set it as null. The reason why we do it as null is because we're going to decide afterwards which one to use. So we have a driver object created as a public, so we can use it anywhere in any of our modules. Now, what we need to have a before method, not the before this one, the before class for test ng, right? So not before class, before method. Okay. So we have the before method. It's gonna be a public void name. Yeah. So we can name it anything. In that, what we need is actually if anyone knows how we can get the drivers. I haven't yet figured it out, but we need to actually manually add those drivers here. So let's just do that right now. We want to navigate to this folder. So we go in Reveal in Finder. It's going to open up the folder. This is the folder that we are creating our project in. And over here under generic, we want to create a new folder name as drivers, and the drivers would really, yeah. So the drivers would contain the Gecko driver that is used for Firefox and the Chrome driver that is used for Chrome browser. For me, it is located somewhere here under the projects, and any one of these projects I have the driver file. So let's just copy this one for now. Copy. Yeah, there you go. So we have the Chrome driver here. Okay. So this part, I don't know how to kind of automate it or just do it automatically by writing a line of code. So we're gonna do it manually for now. We need the driver so that we can communicate with the browser through the IDE, through our IntelliJ. So you see over here the driver, there you go. Under generic module, we have drivers. So which driver? We have the Chrome driver. So we need the path. So we copy the path. Okay, so what we need to do? So we need to set, you have to create the resources folder manually. Actually, no. It would be created automatically if you go ahead and create a new module. I just did it right now for generic. I'm going to create a new module afterwards, and then you'll see that the resources it's created automatically. But for the driver, we had to go in and create it manually. The reason I created a folder is because I want to have all the drivers in just one folder to have everything organized. Yes, if it doesn't do it automatically, then you go in and you do it manually. How you do it, you go into project structure, and then you go in your project, in your modules, you have different modules here, right? So under the generic module, you wanna what you wanna do, you wanna create this as your sources. This is gonna be your Java sources, and this is gonna be your resources or your test resources. We're gonna mark it as test resources afterwards, but not here, not for this one. And then under test, this is where you will have all the tests. The generic module would only have the main class and not the test, and the resources it could have. Maybe we would be using some sort of external API like Facebook API that we can use to publish some sort of post. Let's say we use Facebook's API and we call it and we send the username and the password and whatever we want to set. We want to start a new post or something on our timeline. So we could do that, or we could share something. So we can use different APIs. We could put them over here under resources. So for the generic, again, for the generic module, we only want to have the main class and not the test class, because there aren't going to be any tests under the generic module. I'll get into it later, the project structure as well. As we go along, I'll keep on explaining more parts of it as well. So let's just set up a before method. The before method, we want to do the system dot set property. So the property we want to do is web driver dot was it Chrome? Let's see, dot Chrome dot driver. Yeah, and the path for it is this one, which we just copied. All right, so we got the path and we got the name of the driver. So now we want to do is a driver. Let's do new. Which one? Chrome driver. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We are creating a new Chrome driver. We're actually assigning this value to this driver, this object. So now the driver holds the Chrome driver. So whatever we're gonna do, whatever we will be running any commands to the driver, we will be doing it using the Chrome driver. So we will be communicating with the Chrome browser. So what we're gonna do is driver dot get URL, maybe current URL, or get the URL, whatever URL we want to do. So in this case, what we want to do is we want to make it dynamic. So we do not, so we can use this in every module. So every module would have a different address, bbc.com or facebook.com or google.com. So though they have different addresses. So how we do that, we pass this as a string, and the name of the string is going to be URL. Now we get this as this URL, and oh yeah, one thing we want to do is we want to make sure that the driver is loaded. So what we do is driver dot implicit wait, right? Wait dot implicit, no, implicit wait. Which one is it? Timeout, manage dot timeout, manage dot timeout dot implicit wait. How long? 10 seconds. What is it? Yeah, 10 dot timeout is 10 seconds. Do you think we can extract the driver using Maven like we did? Yeah, I think so. I think there has to be something like this. Like I haven't yet figured that part out, but I think that is possible. Again, I'm not sure, really entirely sure how that is done, or even if that's possible. But there should be a way of doing that. That would make things so much easier. The drivers, I just ended up going in the folder, the generic folder, and I created a new folder and just copied the driver, the Chrome driver, which we had downloaded earlier. Okay. I'm just gonna quickly show it to you. So under generic, I wanted to create a new folder. I could do it from here or from my Explorer or my Finder window as well. So go in generic, you do a create new folder, name it as drivers, and the driver you keep all your drivers there. Okay, so we want to make sure that we wait 10 seconds before the driver is loaded. I'll wait for it to throw the exception before it's loaded, and then yeah, we want to maximize the window as well. Dot maximize window. Which one is it? Manage again. Manage window, and you maximize it. All right, and you get the URL. Now, where is this URL coming from? This URL is coming from parameters. Under the parameters, we pass URL. There you go. Okay, Paul, generic folder, how I created it, it's just another module. I will be going into creating more modules. That is how you would know how it is done. If someone missed it, how I ended up creating this generic portion. Generic is actually a module. So we have our project which contains different modules. Different module meaning that like we are a company, we have different web applications running. Let's say we are Alphabet. Let's say let's just take another example. Like we are a bank. Let's say we are TD Bank, and the TD like any other bank, we have different modules. For example, we would have like a personal banking portion of it. We would have a mortgage portion of it. We would have insurance portion of it. So each one of them would have a separate web application for doing different tasks. So what we would do, we would have a main project of that company. So the TD Canada Trust is going to go here, and under that we would have different modules. And apart from all the modules that the web apps that are running, we want to have a generic module. The generic module would have different methods we could reuse in each one of them, in each one of the modules. Let's say just by opening a browser or by by clicking something. So every time we do not end up writing a long piece of code, we just call that method and pass the value, so and it's gonna run. uh, Java SDK module? No, it's just a module, simple module. So you do control N over after, these are different panes, different windows, frames within this one, this one, this one, this one. There is a shortcut, so for you to move in between these windows as well. So I go to this window. If I'm here and I do Control N or Command N, it gives me a different menu. But if I'm here, let's say over here or over here, and let's say over here, I want to create a new module. I click here. I do the Command N for me or Control N for you guys, or whoever is running Windows, and you are presented with all of these. This is the menu that is this menu, basically a shorter version of it. It's very handy. Like you come here, you do Control N and Command N, and you can even search for it. What do you want to do? If it's like one of the things that aren't coming up, it will show you all the basic things that you could add here. One of the things that you want to do is you want to add a new module. So you do here, you add a new Maven module. All right, this is how I ended up creating generic module. I hope this part is clear. So let's move on. So generic module, again, we have a common API in the generic module in which we are creating a couple of methods that we would be using every time, or whenever there is need for us to use those modules. Now we created the before method. Now the purpose of this before method is that we do not mention this, or we do not have these bunch of lines every time we want to run a test. So whenever we want to run a test, we do this. It'll run all of these lines, and then the test portion of it, and then the after method, which would do what? Public void teardown, in which what we want to do is we want to close the driver. Okay, driver dot close, and again we driver equals to null. So we are not only closing the driver, closing the browser, we are also just assigning a null value to the driver, so that in case we want to do a test in a different browser, if you want to assign a different browser driver to it, there's no conflict. So it's not holding any other value. It just it's only holding a null value. So that is what we would be doing as well. Again, there are different practices of us doing it. We could do it this way or the other way as well. Now we have a very basic API set up. Now what we want to do is we want to create a new module. Just want to start off with a basic test. Now for that portion, keep in mind that the URL, we still need to pass that one. So we need to have an XML file from where it will be reading this value and passing it over here. Now let's just go in and create a new module. Honestly, I haven't really decided which one. Do you guys have any idea? Like, we can go on and try any app that you guys can like. Like, I've been dealing with the Amazon entire day. Do you want to do something else? You guys have anything else in mind? We can do Walmart. We can do Best Buy. Alibaba. Really? Okay. eBay. Wow, so many suggestions. Let's see. Alibaba. Is it easy? Oh, there's something else. Alibaba.com. All right. Yeah, I guess we could do that. Rajib, is this what you would be doing in your project? All right. Yeah, no worries. Let's just do this. Okay? All right. Why not? So we would be testing Alibaba today. I should have opened it up in Firefox, because we will be we need XPath every time. Alibaba.com. So It's just easier to open it in Firefox, and then you get the elements using Firebug, and you can use those as well. Okay, all right. So we create a new module. The name of the module the type of the module is Maven. So we create a new Maven module, and we name it Alibaba. Okay, so Alibaba. Again, we don't need the main package. So we just we can go ahead and delete it. All we need is the test folder or the package. So under Java, what we will do is we will create a new file, a Java file. Let's just name it test home. Actually, you create a new package, homepage. Why? The reason is that Alibaba has different pages, right? It has a home page. It has a help center, a contact us page, right? So every page has different menus and different options. So right now, what we will be focusing on is the main page of Alibaba. All right. So that it just makes it neater, right? And under homepage, we could have different tests. There, you see how big this page is. We could be testing and we could test a lot of things on this page. In real life, we would be testing each and every link, checking if it is taking us to where it's supposed to do. That's the purpose of automation. So we do automate it and we just run it and we just enjoy our coffee. So now, yeah, maybe that. So, guys, we do not need to mention anything over here. No, nothing. No, nothing in the POM. We don't need to mention every time that this is what we will be using. We already did that in the generic portion of it. So that's another reason why we have generic module. So we do not have to go in and every time we just keep on adding the same line of code over and over again. It's just stupid, So what we do is we just inherit it. Let's just start by test home page. So we have a class which extends which common API. Where is that? Why? Someone has some suggestion? Import. Yes, true, but it should do it automatically. Let's just make sure. Yeah. Now this should do it automatically. Why isn't it doing it? Okay. Let's just do import. I didn't like it. Mm, no, there's something wrong, which is why it's not doing it. I wonder what is wrong. Hmm, It's already about module. Yeah, we need to do this dependency. So the dependency, that is why. So over here, we would be doing a dependency. Apologies. Which is the dependency? That is uh, base, common, no, generic. Now it should work. So we have this. Now we go in this one. Now this extends common Yes, so that was so what it was. So in the Palm file, we go in and we tell that what we need to inherit. We will be using this. This is the dependency. So whatever is part of this dependency is going to be part of this as well. So now this generic has a bunch of dependencies. Where they're coming from? They're coming from our root form. So this is how it goes. See, guys, this is what I keep on like telling everyone that we all should be doing mentoring as much as possible. It's just a means of us practicing more. Every time I do it, end up learning something new. The concepts are much more clearer. So now we because we're extending the common API, we can just directly jump into our test. And for the test, what we need is we need a class, public void. Okay, what we need to test? We need to test. Let's just I don't like the fact that it's opening a new tab. That's gonna be tricky. I haven't done that. I don't like it. Anyone knows how it's done? Ah, thank you. So it's not opening a new tab. It's just that I haven't dealt with tabs yet, which is why I mean it's just gonna be a waste of time for all of us if I'm trying to figure it out during the mentoring session and then going over it. So if I had known, I mean I would have just figured it out earlier and then we would have gotten into it. That's the reason why I would want to avoid it. That's why. Yeah, man, I don't like it. Can we change the website? It's just opening a lot of new tabs. Or if anyone knows how this is dealt with, like quickly, then we can do it, I guess. I think we'll have to go and look for the second tab or something like that. Um, there's no CA, right? Oh, there is CA. Yikes. This is still not what I would have wanted to do. This has something like I want to show you guys how this is done. Like hover, how this part is done. Where once how we get to this and then we select something like this and then we click on it. And that was a bit tricky. So I want to show that to you. This let's just quickly search for it. Okay, let's just finish that part. We'll take a quick 5 minutes break and I'll try to figure that out during that break. Okay. So we want to have what we're testing. We are testing if we are able to sign in. Okay, let's just do that for now. So for that we need to go here and then we want to click this button. Okay, so test home page. So this is home page. So what we want to do is let's just rename it. Home page sign in. So this is what we're testing. Okay. This is guys, this is exactly how I did it while I was setting up my own framework and while I was practicing today for mentoring session. I kept on thinking about new ways of dealing with it and kept on renaming it. So I mean, we're not actually testing the entire page in just one class. So what we are doing is we are only testing one functionality, testing just the sign-in portion of it. So what we will do in this particular class is just try that one and then we're going to add another class and then we will try something else there. So we do what's the name? Ali Baba sign in. Incorrect credentials. So for that, what first we need to do is we need the driver to so the driver is gonna get the website. how it's going to open the website, we need to have an XML file here as well, guys. So that's one more thing that we need. So I should not have deleted the main. So under main, we will have resources. So resources, see, it automatically the advantages of us using an IDE. So this is going to be our test resources right here. Okay. Actually, let's just create that over here. And set that as, where is it? Oh, sorry. Our test resources. So the main has already resources and the test would have the test resources. So under the resources, we need an XML file. Let's just start with a file. So Ali Baba runner test runner file dot XML. So for that, we need the version of XML, and the type of encoding is going to be UTF-8, and then not necessarily, Rajab, it's pretty much done automatically, but sometimes we do have to create it manually if the project is not set up properly. I think this was not properly set up. Are you supposed to import test? Yes, Mohammed Rashid, I think we have to do it in just so we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We kind of still need this one, and we don't need this anymore. And test page. So JUnit test. Oh, this is doing the JUnit test. My bad. So this is the one test. There you go. So thank you, Rajab. Sorry, Mohammed. Yes, thank you so much for pointing it out. Othman, he was saying that I was using a different kind of test like functionality. I mean, instead of the we're doing test ng instead of JUnit testing. So when I did test, that's the first one. The JUnit is the first one that comes up every time, the before and after, and the test annotations. So it actually imported that annotation. So, but we wanted to go for the test ng, which he pointed out. Again, thank you so much, Mohammed Rashid. So, so we have a runner file. The runner file is basically where it would have different values, different parameters where we can pass those parameters. We can use those parameters. Let's say we can have a URL of the website. We can have the username and the password. So we have a generic file over here, a common API, where we're just passing this URL, and then we have different modules, Alibaba and eBay and all of those. Every time we keep on creating the same thing, and just we can reuse this portion for all of those. Why? Because we're just passing the URL as a parameter. So this parameter is going to come from here, from every except for an XML for each of the module. So each module would have each test would have their own XML file. So that is how it would pick which one to go for. Now, an XML file, let's just copy this. Should be. We don't really need to, but this is something else. Where is that? Yeah, this one. So let's have the dog type. This really is the comment. No, this is not a comment. So copy this part, setting up an XML file. So the resource file, we are creating it under, we're just creating a new package under test. So we go here under test, we create a new directory. After creating a directory, we name it as resources. After saying resources, we click OK. And once it's done, we go here and go in project structure. Under project, in the project structure, we select which module we want to modify. So we want to modify Alibaba's structure. So for Alibaba, we want to go here and we want to select this as our test resources. So we click on it and we click on test resources and then we click OK. Now we are creating so the suit name. Suit name is the name of the entire suite and the name of the entire test package, the entire testing thing, whatever we're testing, and it's the results are gonna be named as that thing. So we have a suite name, then like the name of the entire test name. So we're testing Alibaba's homepage, so that's the name of the suite. And under that we have different classes. The different classes would have different tests. The different classes is different pages that we're testing, and every page would have different classes and the different functionality of each page that we will be testing. You are welcome. So the suite name is test Ali Baba home page. Okay. Under suite we have the parameters. So we do parameter. So the name of the parameter is URL. Then the value of the parameter is alibaba.com. And we end the parameter. So what I did was I actually entered this slash. All right. Instead, if I had closed it, it would have added this. There's no need for us to do it this way because in between these we're not adding any values. Okay. So we just close this parameter here. So we could have a bunch of variables here. We can have a username here as well, a password as well. But since we do not have an account or anything, we'll just do the basic testing of us trying to enter no values and incorrect values. All right. So these are the tests that we will be running, and this XML would run which packages, which tests it would run. Test name is gonna be test homepage or homepage. No. Okay, yeah. Test homepage. So this really is test Alibaba. So we're testing the homepage. So in this test, what we have is different classes. Yeah. So we enter the classes that we have. The first class is it is under homepage. Which one is it? It's test page sign in. So this is what we would be testing, and we close it. After we add more classes, we will be including it over here, and that is how we will be running our tests. So so we actually, guys, that tried to figure it out, took me 2 hours to figure this out. Thanks to Ezran who helped me with this. Once we do the parameterization, we do not run these classes, these test classes. Instead, what we do is we run this runner, the XML file. So this XML file, how it's going to run, it will take all these parameters and it will pass these parameters wherever they're needed, and where they're needed in these classes, all these classes that it's going to run, it's going to pass these values, and that's how the test would be run, and not us running these classes. So let's just set this up quickly. The test, what we are doing here is, first of all, the driver is loaded, so the page is loaded because we're passing that. And what we're going to do is we want to find an element. What element we are finding out? We are finding out this one. Now, since this is a hover, we are not just going here and selecting something and clicking it. So we need to actually have it open, and then we're going to click on it. How we're going to have it open? Which part we need to have it open? This one. This entire thing. So we need the XPath for this one. So Can you run our all our XML files from different modules at once? Um, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. You know how? Maybe. Um, Maybe what we can do is we can have an XML file over here where we are running all the XML files. I think so. I think that's how it's done. I haven't tried that. I haven't gotten to that point, so not sure. Guys, I'm not. I'm like I haven't done this before. I'm just pretty much on same page as you guys are, just attending the classes as you guys are. So trying to figure it out as we go along. So haven't gone that advanced yet. So, but I believe this is Mohammed Rajiz. I believe this is how it will be done. It was trying to do some research, and I came across something which I kind of understood was mentioning this how we will be running all these tests. I think this is how we would be doing it. So let's just get into it. Find the element. Actually, for this, we do not need to find element. So for this, we need a different object. So we need actions. That is from this Selenium. So Selenium has a method, actions. We create an object named actions, and we do new. Which one was it? Actions. Let me just quickly look at it. Yeah, the driver. So the actions would be done on what? The driver. So what we want to do is for actions, we want to move to element. So we are actually moving to this element, and then we are moving here, and then we are clicking this one.
Got the news right now, so come through.
Come on, welcome. Can you please mute yourself kindly? Thank you. So let's just move to element. Which element? Driver dot find element and sorry by XPath, and we are finding this element by XPath, and after we find it, what we want to do is we want to move to another element, which again we will be finding by XPath. Which one is that? It is actually this one. So this is what we need to find out. So this is the XPath for that one. So once we have found this particular element, we've moved to this element. What we want to do is we want to click it. Now, once all of these actions we've written it down, this is what we want to do. How we actually go about running these. I mean, if I were to run this as is, it would not run. Even though it does seem that it's actually moving from one element to the other element and then clicking on it, but the way it's designed is that we need to build all these actions into one action, and then we need to perform them. They're just different identifiers, Alex. XPath is the one way is actually probably the easiest way of identifying an element. I can show you over here. So this is a CSS address for that element. It's just different. For some websites, it's easier to go and find out. My bad. So this is the CSS value, the CSS address for that particular element, and the XPath is another way of navigating or finding that element. So that they're just a different way of identifying an object on or an element on a web page. That's what really is. CSS is a cascaded style sheets. That's another way of writing the web page. What you do is you just write another. It's just another file, and it's like a theme file, a template file, in which you mention how it's going to be. I mean, if you enter something like this, and this is going to show up like this, and you would add that tag to that one, which is defined in the CSS file. So that's what CSS is. I think so. Again, I could be wrong. This is just really basic stuff. I know about all of this. So that's what really it is. So the one is CSS path and the other one is XPath. No worries. So once we navigate to this, we want to go here. So now we have clicked on this one. Theoretically, we have clicked on this one. After we click on this one, we should have landed on the sign in page. Now we want to make sure that we are on the sign in page. There are a number of ways of us finding it out. Uh, so let's go with the title, but the title doesn't say that this is the sign in page. For example, on a different website, if you were to go into sign in, you see on top in the header and the title of the page, it says sign in. The sign in, there are different ways where it's saying sign in, but what we can do is we can just go by this button. I mean, if this button is appearing, then that means it's this is the sign in page. All right, so let's just find out where what's this X path for this button is. Sorry. So we want to see if this button exists. So how we will do it, um, okay, let's just find this first, and then I'll tell you what to do next. Yeah, assertion. Yeah, I was gonna do that, but let's just find it, and then I'll move it to assert. Okay. But that's really what we're doing here. We are actually doing assert, and we're doing assert true. I mean, if it's true, then the test passes. So what's true? This what over here is going to be Boolean. Whatever it's going to go in this portion is going to be Boolean. So if that particular element exists or not, how we do it? Driver dot find element by XPath. So we put the XPath, and over here is displayed. So if that is displayed, this particular element, then the test would pass. So this is us first of all navigating to the sign in page. Sign in, let's just rename it. This is not the correct name for it. So this is going to be sign in navigate from the main page. So we are actually navigating from the main page. So let's just try to run this portion. So what we are running, so we are running the XML file, guys, not the test, not the CS, not the class file. So you'll see in the background, see, this is opening up. This is maximized. It went to that website. Now it didn't do it. It's gonna fail. Yes, yes, Osman. Test no, it's just gonna be test, but it's gonna be from this test ng annotations. So the name is exactly the same. The annotation name is same for test ng and test JUnit. But if we're using this and if we have this class imported, it will automatically know that this is coming from the test ng one. Now, why it failed? Let's see. Don't you think it's different? The page that showed up, isn't it a different page? Uh, Thank you. But no, it should, I mean, it's just, no, that shouldn't be an issue. Let's see. I don't think that that is the problem here. Uh, so, so because even if we enter HTTP, it's actually automatically navigating us to the secure portion of it. And then it should go here, it should go here. Now I'm just doing it manually so that the test would pass. Uh, I think it's just taking a lot of time, which is why the test is kind of failing. Now, find the element, come on. Rajib, I'd recommend you changing the website, man. Honestly. Tests are gonna fail, guys. I mean, I was reading somewhere that the guy said test fails for no reason. For even if the browser is slow, if the connection is slow, or the machine is slow, even then it would fail. So you need to have, I mean, different, things that you would need to include. Wait for the page to load. I mean, there's gonna be a bunch of things that you would be including for you to have a successful test. Um, Now, let's see, why is it failing? Not really. I mean, that's what we're getting. Unable to find element. Yeah. Why? Finding the element is sometimes really hard, guys. It's just sometimes really difficult to find the element. You have an XPath. Dot and XPath? Yeah, that's what it is. Uh, really? Over here, it's working fine, guys. I have periods here, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. I can show it to you. These tests are gonna pass. Okay. If you guys insist, because a lot of you guys are insisting. Maybe I'll learn something new. Hmm. Nope. Nope. Again, guys, this finding it, that's why you have different methods for, um, finding an element. That's really tough. That and I figured it out today. It was tough, guys. Let's just try to do it. There are a bunch of ways of, you navigating to that specific element. Let's just try it by using CSS. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, no, 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 no. So let's just try it using CSS. Nope, unable to identify the element. Is a part of XPath in this case. Paul, I mean, I have been, just copying exactly what it says over there. It kind of is working out for me. I can show it to you guys. Um, for instance, the Amazon page, we are like, I'm testing it using incorrect credentials. I'm testing it using blank credentials. Uh, so let's just run this. It was really easy to find out the elements on Amazon page. Really easy. I've been here. I've heard this that it's sometimes it'll get hard for us to find an element. but I never really encountered it because I think mainly because I've been dealing with the kind of, easy websites or easy web apps. Alibaba could probably be one of the difficult ones. Even the menu and everything, they were not how all the North American websites are, how they're made. If you look at it, it's opening in new tabs. These days, people don't really like that. I mean, sometimes they just want to stay in one page. Sometimes that is how a web app is. You're not going away from the page, staying in just one page. So I guess we can even quickly go and try something else as well, guys. I mean, that's not an issue. Um, So something's gonna fail here, guys. No? Yes. One test failed. So, no, this one. Where's the other one? So again, this probably failed because it took some time to load the page. All right, let's just try something else. I think that it's taking some time to load the page. Let's just, do what? Um, it was something. What was it? How did we add delay? I added it today somewhere. Uh, Anyone? How do we add delay in milliseconds? Mm, 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 mm. No, again, Aman, implicitly wait is used only for one and one thing. That is for you to wait until the driver is loaded before it would throw an exception. So that's what the purpose of implicit wait is. So if you're saying you wait implicitly wait 10 seconds, so that actually means that it would wait for 10 seconds before it put through an exception if the driver hasn't loaded, if it wasn't successful in loading the driver. Let's say the driver file doesn't exist and we're trying to load it, so and we have 10 seconds, so it will wait for 10 seconds, keep on trying to load the driver, and if it doesn't succeed in those 10 seconds, that is when it'll throw an exception. Sometimes the computers are slow, so that it's just taking some time to load the driver. So that's what really it is, implicitly wait. So Java add wait time. I did it today. No worries. Thread.sleep. Yes. So this is how you add thread.sleep. Let's say 5,000. So it's gonna wait for 5,000. Thread.sleep 5,000. No. Why? What's wrong? Oh yeah, exception. So method signature just adds exception there. Let's see. No, it really isn't able to find the element using like anything. So let's just create another module. Let's just assume that we were successful in doing all the testing related to Alibaba, and now we are moving on to another module. So let's just create a new module. The name of the module is going to be, honestly, the one that I have been using all day. It's just because it's easy. It really is easy, man. So artifact ID is this, and dependencies. What dependency? The dependency that we want to use in this one is uh, we want to use generic is the dependency that we want to use as part of our Amazon. So under Amazon, we have the source, we have the main, and we have the test. Now, you see, guys, I created a new module and it automatically created these folders and it mapped it accordingly. So the test is already, it knows that it's the resources folder. This means that it has the main classes and this means it has the Java classes. Now, let me just explain what these different folder names are. The reason why we have this is because sometimes like there's just one man show, guys. I mean, or even if it's not the case, like this is how the project would be set up. Let's just take an example of me being a developer and a tester. Like I'm just working on something that I created. How I will be doing it, I would have an Amazon class. I would be working on a specific module, and that module will have all the main classes. I would have a bunch of different main classes. All those main classes are going to go here. But now I want to go ahead and I want to test if those classes are working or not. So what I do is my test is going to go here. All my tests is going to go here. So this is how this kind of works. But for us, because we are dealing with the web app, which is why we would not have the HTML and all those codes over here. We could, because IntelliJ is not just an IDE for Java. It could deal different. I mean, if you see, we were dealing with an XML file as well. We were writing an XML file, and it knew how we are writing an XML file. So I mean, it was auto completing pretty much all of that. So it's just not for editing or creating Java classes. We could create different types of like language. We could use different kind of languages in it. So are this the main would have different. This is just it telling that it's Java. Why? Because the reason is because it's creating Java classes because we install the Java version of it. If we were to install like a complete version of it, then it would have asked a couple of more questions that what are you working on, what do you need now? So that's probably another reason why it's just creating Java classes by default. So again, we do not need the main one because the main one is just it's there for us. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna delete it. And before deleting it, let's just move this to the here, and we go ahead and delete it. So under the Java, we have a new package that is for the home page. In the home page, we will be testing what we were testing. Test home top nav. So we will be testing the top navigation portion of Amazon. So if you see, this is a navigation portion, and this is how we can navigate. Like one way we can navigate to, like in between the web app. So we can go to store here, we could go to deal store here, we could go to gift cards portion of it, and then there are different menus that we could go into. Again, for this we would need to be signed in. I was trying to do that, and there was the way I wanted to do it, I wasn't able to do it, so I'm just not going to do that again. Quickly, we will be creating a simple test, and hopefully they will pass. So for this one, the top nav, what we want to do is we want to create a test, test ng1, right? So the test ng test, what we would have a public void, and what test we are testing? We are testing if your store link works. So test your store link. Okay, so in this one, what we are doing, we need to extend something here, guys. We need to extend what? Common API. So actually, everyone is muted. Sorry, guys. I think it's my kid in the background. Let me just ask the mommy to, do something about it. Sorry. All right, let's see if that works. I mean, sometimes it's really hard, guys. If you guys don't have kids, you'll know how it is when you have kids. And for me, it's just one for now. No, no worries, man. Okay, so um, let's let's just try if that works. But for that, what we need to do is we need to find it first and then click. How we're gonna do that? Driver dot find element. How are we going to do that? By, okay, before we do that, let's just create a method that would, simplify this portion for us. So it's just, we would only be doing XPath and then we'll be doing just the click. Let's just do that first. So what we will be doing right now is quickly, we're going to go in our main class and the common API, and let's just create a new method here. So instead of me creating it, I'm just gonna copy it because that's already created. I will explain that. So also guys, this was included. We already have this. Okay. So let's just copy both of these. We'll be needing. So we created a new method that's click by XPath, and we will be passing a locator string, a string to it. What string we are passing? A locator. What locator? What does locator do? The locator basically driver dot find element by XPath and locator, and then clicks on it. So click by XPath is basically us finding an element and then clicking on it. Then what we do? Type by XPath. So we pass the name of the element and the X path of the element, and we send it the value or the whatever value we want to pass. And again, what it's doing is we're just finding the element and we are passing that locator, what we're getting the value from here, and then we're sending keys. What keys? These keys. So is that okay, guys? If not, I can kind of explain it more. It was pretty simple, but if anyone has any questions, just let me know. I can explain it further how click by XPath and type by XPath method works. So another thing, we will be having so many more methods over here, so that it's just simpler. You see how, for me, I mean, I was writing such a long, I mean, even let's just say, um, let me quickly show it to you. In my example today that I've been doing, I've done it both ways. So if you see, there's one way of finding the element and then clicking on it, which is driver.element.byXpath, and then the address, the XPath of that particular element, and then click. This is how we will be finding an element and then clicking on it. But there's another way. Another way is us creating a method and then just calling it. What is that method that we would be creating? Over here. So click by XPath. You see how simple it is? So we don't need to type again that portion, that line of code over and over again. It's just, it makes things simpler. We're just just reusing that particular method, which is part of our generic module. So that's also the way we want to have a generic module, is to have all these different methods and drivers. So like we can reuse them as part of our all the modules. Like we can reuse them. We call them in any module we would like to. So now that we have that, so what we want to do is click by XPath. What we want to click. So we would like to click this. All right. So we cannot click it if we don't know what the XPath for that button is. So the XPath for that button is this. So there you go. So basically what this method will do is it'll find this using the XPath and it'll click on it. That would be CSS. Sorry, what? I think you copied CSS. You are right. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you so much. I was just so into the session that I didn't realize that it actually is. I mean, you could actually, guys, we should be able to just look at it and tell that if it's an XPath or if it's a a CSS, but I actually didn't even look at it. And also because I haven't really been doing all of this for a number of years. I just learned it. But it is expected of us that we should be able to catch some of this just by looking at it. Okay? I hope you get this my point. So once we're gonna click on it, what we want to do is we want to make sure that it's actually landing into the correct page. It's taking us exactly. It's we want to make sure that it's taking us where it should be. The page that it's going to, it's the sign-in page. That is where it's taking us. So how we know that we have actually landed on the sign-in page? Okay, one more thing. I mean, the test we could elaborate the test of a bit further. We could have different methods called in. Like we could go from the main page. We could go here and we could make sure that we end up here, and then we call another method, and that method would actually sign us in here. After signing us in here, what page it takes us to our should be the your store page. But for now, because we're just limited with the options, we're limited with the data, we will just take it what we have. So we'll just make sure that it's taking us to the sign in page. How? By checking if this exists. Okay, so we assert part, we could have a number of assertions, but we could check by a number of ways if that exists or not. Assert true. What true? I should have another method that would find an element and would return if it's true or not, if it exists or not. But since we do not have it right now, find element by XPath. What's the path? And dot is displayed. If it is displayed, it'll pass. Now let's just have another quick test. Assert true. Driver dot find element by XPath, and you want to make sure that this button exists. Let's see. Does it? We don't know that yet. Actually, we do, but it doesn't know it. So dot is displayed. So if both of these, now if we have more than one assert, that would mean if all of these are going to be true, if all of these like Boolean, if it's going to return true, then and only then the test would pass. If even one of them is going to fail, the test would not pass. Let's just quickly have another method, another test. Why? I'll tell you why we're not just running it yet. Public void test. What do we want to test? We want to test if it's taking us to the deal store. See guys, if you have the framework, the test portion would only take you minutes, literally. So click by XPath. What do you want to click? You want to just click this. That's it. It's that simple. So after you click this one, what you want to do is, if it is taking you to the deal store. I mean, again, there are a number of ways. I'm just gonna do another. I'm just gonna make sure that we're on that page by another method. What method? By checking if. Where's that? Okay, no. By checking if the title of the page does exist, that contains this thing. Okay, so let's just copy this and assert true if driver dot get title dot contains what? Contains this. If it contains this, then the test passed. You see, it does even contains amazon.ca. I mean, there's a possibility that I could be testing amazon.ca or amazon.co.uk or amazon.jp. I mean, Amazon is all pretty much like it is in different countries. I mean, if it's an Indian version that I'm testing, so I just don't want to hard code that portion. Instead, I know that the title would say this. Another way of us doing it, assertion, is by passing the parameters. I mean, over here we could have you know, in the resources file we could include something else. Okay, one more thing, we need to have the resource file. So quickly copy it from Alibaba. Copy it and paste it here as Amazon test runner. So the value is going to be amazon.ca and test Amazon and test homepage. So it's gonna be testing which one? Homepage dot test homepage dot top nav. So this is the class that we wanna run. Do you know simpler XPath for selecting an object such as checkbox? Haven't dealt with checkboxes yet, I'll be honest. Is there any checkbox here? Yeah, there is one. Let's just see what comes up if we try to find. So there you go. You just copy this for the checkbox. If you wanna now for the checkbox, I believe guys, again, Google best friend Selenium Java checkbox checked. There you go. Find element equals true. Okay, yeah, that's one way of doing it. I don't know, but it's selected, is selected. I think it's this one, is selected. This is how you're gonna do. If it's selected, it's gonna return true. If it's not selected, it's gonna return false. I think that's what it is. Or no, sorry. This is just clicking it. Clicking it. No, you select it and you click it. Okay, again, just do some quick research and you'll know how you can deal with it. I haven't come across this one yet, but again, if you want me to look into it, I mean, afterwards, I can definitely do it. No worries. Okay, so we quickly created Zabit, if you can't find it, just let me know. Because I may even get into something like that. I may be testing something that would include me checking if it's checked or not, applying some filters, and then checking if it's returning the values it's supposed to. So maybe I mean I probably will be doing that too once I do it. And if you haven't figured it out, you can ask me. No worries. So this is the class we would be running, and this class is okay. Okay, let's just run it. So this actually is your test resources, Amazon test, not resources, in fact, test resources, okay? And just, run it like this. There you go, guys. The first test passed, and the second one passed too. All right. Now, I want to show you one more thing. Yeah, sure. No worries. So now if you look at it, do you see that I wrote this test first and then I wrote this test, but the way it is running is it's actually running the store, it's testing deal store link first and then it's testing this one. I mean, it's running the other way around. Why? It's actually running it alphabetically. But what if I want to run this test first and then I want to run this test afterwards? So what you do is you say priority is 1, okay, and then priority is 2. Now, let's just not get into, making sure all of these works because just if you guys trust me, these work. I've tried all of these today. All these links are working fine. All right, so there's nothing wrong with it. No need to guys going in and testing it right now. Let's just do something else. So what we are doing now is we are actually trying to see if we are able to sign in or not. One way, we just go directly into the sign in page. And from here we get the address for the sign in page and we just sign in here. We can get a direct link for the sign in page as well. Over here it's actually, the way it's doing it is because it wants to know where we are coming from, this page, where we are landing from this page. Why? I found out I use Amazon. I kind of use it quite often, and I found out that these guys use a lot of cookies. These guys probably run a lot of reports on your behavior, on which, to an extent that which button you're using, I mean, for sign in. Why? That's why they have the button over here, because they've done some research regarding it. They're doing the research even now. How the way we clicked it, it's actually telling where we are coming over here, how we are landing to this page. I mean, let's just say we are to go on Google, Amazon, sign in. So if we were to go from here, okay, it didn't do it, but I probably did. It would know that where we are actually coming from Google. I mean, that's how they're doing it. Even if if you guys browse something on Amazon and if you go on other websites, you will see their ads related to your searches on those websites. So they just keep on calling you that this is available, it's on sale or whatever. Anyway, that was beside the point. So what we want to do is we want to click this button. But this button would only appear if we were to hover our mouse over here and then this one. So let's just try how this is done. You see how I clicked, how I went to the main page. Reference is nav logo by clicking this logo. And so it's basically, saving everything. All our actions are being saved, like our behaviors, how we are using the website. It helps them, add more features, how they want to, if it comes to a point, if they want to redesign it, what should they be focusing on. If I'm using this button a lot, then they would know that it's not just me. A lot of people are actually using this button to go back to the main page. So they're going to keep that page in their next design. So that's how they're doing it. Again, that was beside the point. Anyways, let's just, go here and click this button. So let's create a new class, test sign in. Now the reason it's going to be under our home page is because we are navigating from home page to that page, and then we're trying to sign in. Test. So public void. The name of the class is going to be test sign in blank credentials. So we need actions. Let's just import it, and what we need is new actions based on what? Driver. Now what we want to do from using these actions, what we want to do is we want to move to the element. Which element we want to move to? Let's just see the XPath for that element that we want to move to. So this is where we want to move to. And then what we want to do, we want to move to another element, which appears only after we move to that element, this one. So let's move there. Once we are moved to that element, what we want to do is we want to click, we want to build, and we want to perform. That's it. That's how it's going to click. Now, oh, my bad. drivers, driver, move to element by, oh, it's done by XPath. Right, yeah, driver define element. Why it's not? Oh, again, I missed something. Extends what? Common API. Now, driver dot find element by XPath. Okay, so same thing over here. Driver dot find element dot by XPath. There you go. Okay, so now we have clicked it and we are on that page. Guys, we are not testing if by clicking on that button it is taking to the sign-in page. We're not doing that. In fact, we are doing one more step. We are navigating to that web page, and then we are testing if we are able to sign in or if we're not able to sign in, or what errors we get upon like when we try to sign in using different combinations. Let's just not enter anything, leave everything blank, and just click sign in button. Now, if we were to sign in using that, if like once we land on that page, what we want to do is we want to click this button. And this is a click by XPath. Which one? This one. Okay, so we click this button, and then we do assert. Assert true. Assert true what? If we get this one and we get this error. Okay, how we find that? We do this. Driver dot find element by XPath. Again, this would have been so much simpler if we had created methods for it. I'm not going to get into creating methods or show you how to create methods. We should already know it, and actually it's already included as part of the common API file that was provided to us in the class. So we can probably use something from there. If we don't have something from there, we can just create like as per our need. So we need to find that path, and we need to see. We need to get the text. Equals, right? Find element, and then this is what? Text, right? Get text. So we get the text. Get text. If get text equals what? If it equals this part. So instead of us actually doing equals, we would be doing contains. The reason is because there are a bunch of spaces, or I mean, that's like another reason why, I mean, one of the reasons why we would be using contains, because maybe it would not pass because there are spaces and it's actually trying to, make sure it's exactly like this. But another thing, in HTML, these spaces mean nothing. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. Let's just stick with the equal. And the next one we will see if then assert dot assert true, and driver dot find element by XPath. What is the path you want to see? This one. Get text equals, no, let's say contains this time. Okay, contains what? Then assert true. And the priority for this one is 3. quickly, let's just write another test. So public void test sign in incorrect credentials. So assert is going to be different for us. So, but this one we can copy paste. So we have actions where we are navigating this one, and then before clicking the submit button, what we are doing is type by XPath. What do you want to type? So you want to type something in here. What do you want to type? You want to type incorrect user, and you take this. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to type by XPath where over here. And what do you want to type? You want to type incorrect password, right? So let's just name it 5. Let's just have another test in between. Test sign in, no password. So again, no. Oh, we didn't do the assert part over here. We'll do it right now. So before clicking, what we want to do is we would like to enter, use something over here. So do that, but we would not so now we will add incorrect user but no password. So it should give us, instead of it going into the server and checking if this user exists even or not, it's going to give us an error that you should enter the password before it's going to communicate with the server, not to put load on it, right? Now assert true, what driver dot find element by XPath, what now this get text dot contains what? Let's just copy it from here. It's okay. So over there, so contains this text, right? If it's true, then this is gonna pass. So there's no password. And now incorrect user, incorrect password. If that's what we're gonna do, now it should come up with this. Okay, what assert true, driver dot find element by XPath. Now so by this path, what the text contains. So if it contains this, then that means this test passed too. All right, let's run it. Yes, Alex. See, I mean, actually, Even this one, assert true or like finding something and returning a Boolean value, there should have been a method for this as well because we are using this a lot too. So I'll end up pretty much creating one too. So you see how you like having these ones made our lives easier. Just typing and just you call this method and just pass the value. It's really easy. So let's run it. Now, it didn't even execute these ones. You know why? Because the XML file doesn't know which other class to run. So homepage dot test sign in, and now what we do is we comment this one out. So it wouldn't run this one. Okay. Oh no. Yes, yes, definitely, Mohammed Rashid. We can one by one. Now with this, why does this one fail? Expected true, but it was false. Let's see. Sign in. Mohammed Rashid, I'm gonna show it to you now, right? Sign in, no pass. Sign in, no pass. So priority is gonna be 4, and priority is gonna be 5. Sign in, no pass. Set true, that will find element. Get text contains, enter your password. Yeah, should work. Yeah, thank you for that. Let's just see. Without the password, if we try to sign in, it should give us this, right? So this is missing alert, password missing alert. Yeah, that's the one. Get text contains enter your password. Enter your password. Yeah. Mm -mm. Oh, this is not the one. This is the one. The XPath for this one. See, the XPath is incorrect. So it's actually going to which one? It's going to this one, but I want to do this one. My bad. So contains enter password. Yeah, all right, let's go. So let's just run in the entire thing now. Just remove the comment, and you'll see that it will run in the priority that we've set, the order that we've set. It didn't even go to that page this time. I believe you already asked this, but can you upload the courses to us, please? Yeah, I will, definitely. Let's just, make sure that they're running. And I don't, enter faulty just code over there. I just don't want to do that. Just check this out. What's going on here? Uh, See, this one passed the last time, and this time it just didn't pass. Let's see. I think the browser were a bit slow. So let's just add some wait time in between. Move to element, and then thread dot sleep for, let's say, 3000. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. So Mm, so click by expat before clicking. After clicking, before going to that page, you wait, and then after clicking, you wait. All right, let's try it again. It's not going there. I just, kind of helped it. So you see, I added the wait time, and sometimes that's what it is. You just add the wait time. It kind of helps. Sometimes the machine is slow. Sometimes the internet is slow. Could be a number of things. There you go. All right, guys, it worked. A round of applause for all of us. Yay! Any questions? Yeah. You see those accomplishment. After we share homework to GitHub, where do we share the GitHub link? Do we share it in the Dropbox or email to Mafia? I emailed it to Mafia, guys. I think that's what he asked in the class. That once you have set up your framework, you're supposed to send him an email with the link. So you could even, do it. I think that's how he wanted it to be in his email so that he gets notified as soon as you guys have done it, so that he doesn't have to go in the Dropbox and find out where your link is. I mean, that's going to be work for him. Instead, you should be doing work for him. So it's best that you create it and send him an email that this is the link to our for this particular team. Or like what I did was I added the name of the people in our team. In the email, I mentioned that these are the people who this is we are team 4, and these are the people who are working on who are part of the team 4, and this is the link to our GitHub project. So that's what I did, and I also CC'd everyone on it. So all of us gets notified that this has been done. Why? Because you know you don't want to take the liability. I mean, you could just send it to Mafi Bhai, I mean, your instructor or your leader, and no one else would know, and then they could later complain that, I mean, you didn't CC us, like we didn't know that you've done it. So, I mean, it's you're doing this, adding everyone onto that email. I mean, it's not that I have any something against these guys, but it's like what I know, maybe someone else doesn't know. Maybe they can learn from it, but this is what I learned while I was doing my work in the past, that I mean, you have to CC everyone on it so that later they don't complain, and later they don't say that like we didn't know about it. We like you've done it, or later they can like there is a possibility that one of my team member could come up and say that I wasn't included as part of this discussion. I mean, they could just go to the instructor or whoever my team lead is and go to them and say that like I wasn't part of the discussion. Like how was this done? I don't even know. So that, because of that and so many other reasons, I mean, it's just good practice that you CC everyone on it, so that that would mean that like you sending it to the teacher and including everyone on it means that you're taking the initiative, but everyone agrees that this is what you're doing. So because they were CC'd on it. So that's what my suggestion is, that when you're doing it, you CC everyone on it as well. Any other question, guys? Thank you, Atman. So let's just get one more thing done before we end the session. Let's just push this entire project to GitHub. All right. Let me just show it to you how simple that is. Maybe some of us are still struggling with it, but guys, really, that is the easiest thing to do. Before we do it, we just want to make sure that the version control has our GitHub credentials and they are working fine. The connection was successful. So that means the username and password is correct. So we go in VCS, the version control system. And what we do, we import this into version control. How? Which one? I mean, there are a bunch of other ones too. Like we can just create a Git repository, like a local one, like a subversion. We could use just subversion. That's another way of us doing it. Or we could use a Mercurial sub repository, or we could just share it on GitHub. Sharing it on GitHub. So the new repository name is gonna be mentoring automation, and let's just say 2016 January 3rd, and description framework setup, and we do share. Now it's asking us which files we would like to share. Oh, sorry, my bad. Still in the previous year, guys. Oh, is it? Okay. All right. The repository was created. Let me just change it. And before that, let me just commit the changes. It's gonna ask me, oh, push it. Have you pushed it? You haven't pushed it. Or you did push it. Oh, it was pushed. Okay. Let's go and see. Yep, it was there. It's there. Nothing. See, nothing. Why? Because none of the files are part of it. So what I do is I'll just, add, include all of these files as part of, because when it was asking me if you would like to include all of these, then I said no. So now commit changes. It's asking me all these files. I'll say yeah, all these files. So we do commit and push. Yeah, yeah, 7 warnings. So we push all these to the master uh, branch. No, nothing, nothing yet. We're getting there. Almost there. There you go. Voila. Have everything there. And okay. And we do what? We do a pull. Now, did it? Yeah, see, it created another repository. Man, or not. Anyways, there you go, guys. This is the link. How do you want it? Dropbox, entering, opening text file. What happened? This happened, nothing happened. So, three. Mention docs. And save. There you go, guys. I have posted this. I mean, you can find it in the Dropbox as well. Now, any questions? Now we start the QA. If anyone has any questions, they can ask. Otherwise, if you guys want to leave, you can go ahead and leave. I will wait until 8:30 before closing the session. Thank you, Alex. I mean, everyone, thank you so much for attending, for being patient, and I know for helping me too. I learned a lot, even today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, 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 welcome.